Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, telcos, are they a logical fit for data spaces? Can I see a show of hands? Who thinks yes? Then again, who thinks no? I'm curious. Okay, let's see if I convince you in the next 10 minutes. So KPN at a glance, like you probably know of telcos, we are very capable of running large networks with big volumes. So I think data spaces require scale to become mainstream. But how do we get to this scale? That's the big question that we've been asking ourselves today. Will it become the next network play? I think to make it a mainstream, it can really work to do it cross-sectoral, to really start using it in big volumes. I like to make the comparison to the mobile networks. As a telco, we are very experienced with mobile telephony, of course. And mobile telephony started about 40 years ago with 1G. And with 1G, we needed a killer use case, a first early adopter. And who was the first early adopter of mobile network? It was the business travelers. They saw the value of mobile telephony, and they wanted to start using it, and they were prepared to pay the premium because it saved them time. They could work while on the road. I remember my dad had one of these big car phones in his car, paying, I think, 4 guilders per minute. But hey, it was worth it because on the road he could do his work and he could call the office. So what would be the business traveler for data spaces? How can we find this killer use case to really get some volume going? Getting back to mobile telephony, we started with 1G and we needed to accommodate the business travelers. But we didn't need the functionality of, let's say, we know the mobile telephony today, let's say 5G. We didn't go there from one day, from 1G to 5G. No, it took us 40 years. And I think with data spaces today, we're in the first generation of data spaces. So it's important to look at what is it that we need today and not what do we need in 10 years. And let's focus on what the use cases require. So let's get to what KPN is doing today. Over 7 years ago, we started a platform as a service to make it possible to provide companies, organizations access to data. Actually, Dennis, who will speak next, was one of the founding fathers of the platform. And we produced this platform, we developed this platform in a program called Talking Traffic, of which Vincent was also a very close collaborator. This access to data, we were able to provide access to data in a secure, scalable way, and we had the sovereignty of the data holder in mind. This is something that we've been able to do for 7 years, and it provides value to small ecosystems. It provides value to providing access to data in big corporations. It helps with data enablement in large governments. So next, we're hosting the SCSN network. So one of the few operational data spaces that everyone probably knows. So it's in the makers industry. It's providing about 300 companies daily access to data in their supply chain. And when you have an operational data space, you need it to work. You need it to be reliable. So the first step is making sure that it runs. And so we're hosting their infrastructure and making sure that there is a service desk and all that kind of stuff. So that's basically the foundation of a data space. The next level, we're working with TNO and with the foundation of SCSN on what comes next. So what comes next, that's why we have started a testbed on our platform to start looking at the next generation of coding for SCSN. And will that probably be part of the data space protocol? It will probably have some pieces of iSHARE. And we need to be able to test this with all the users of SCSN because it's operational. We can't just say tomorrow, oh, let's go to the next phase and let's just start using new technology because it's here. No, we have to deal with these businesses that rely on it, that have their processes, that need to talk to their end users. And at the same time, it's not just the code, it's also about legal agreements, it's about the financials. So how can we make sure that SCSN can be sustainable in the long run? You need to get to a business model where people are willing to pay daily for this service. It's very important questions that we are dealing with today to make sure the data space SCSN exists also in 10 years and hopefully has grown. Data Act compliancy is another thing that we're doing. As you know, the Data Act is one of those, I didn't even know there were 21 acts, but one of these European acts. And I agree that there's not many companies yet that really seem to understand what's coming at them. Fortunately, there are some companies that are. So with a big Dutch company, I'm not going to name the company yet because we're still in negotiation, but we're working on a data space compliancy service. We're doing this together with iSHARE. We're using part of our experience in providing certificates and providing identities like with 𝐬𝐜𝐴. And we're making sure that this organization is able to be compliant to the Data Act and is able to start sharing their data when they are required, when they are asked. But the important thing is that this company also understands that being compliant is the first step. But the next step is that they will be able to use it also for their business purposes, for their benefit. So first, being compliant. Second, looking for new opportunities. Okay, small piece on what we're doing with identity. We have developed an e-wallet. There's a lot more to say about it. There's not enough time to talk about it. But what I do want to say is we have a program providing a white labeled e-wallet to the city of Rotterdam, used for social housing rentals. So basically safeguarding the information of people that want to apply for a home and making sure that there's no discrimination. So only using the data that is required to making sure someone is qualified to apply for a social housing. So our destination, our dream, is to make data space services as simple as mobile telephony. So just getting a subscription and making sure that we take care of all the complexities behind the scene. For businesses, it's been said this morning also several times, they don't care, they don't want to deal with the complexity, they just want to have access to data. However, they want to be compliant, they need to be compliant, and they want to have saying of their own data. We want to take care of this, but we can't do it alone. This destination we need to do with other companies. So whoever is interested, let's speak after, because I think what we really need right now is practical use cases and get going and really start doing it. Thank you.